We're about to go live. There we go. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the TPM podcast. I think I'm joined by my good old friend Tommy Boyer. We're going to talk about the Corona crisis and shit. How the world's gone to shit and we're all going to die or something. I don't know. Yeah, more from us at 10. Awesome intro.
That was
There we go, and I'm joined by my good old friend Tommy Bowyer, as usual, apart from when he went on holiday and almost got stuck on a remote island. Hello, Tommy.
yes. Hello, yes. I'm back in the UK, as you already know. And as you've noticed, I've had a haircut. I couldn't actually have a proper haircut because all the hairdressers and the majority of the barbers are closed. So
How do you
I've
think I
had
feel?
to improvise instead. So that's why my hair's cut exceptionally short. It looks like I've just come out of the so that's why my hair's the way it is.
How do you think I feel?
It's been a
I can't get my hair cut.
yeah, well, it's been a crazy couple of weeks.
Yeah,
Crazy
Tommy,
couple of weeks.
Tommy, Tommy almost got stuck on holiday.
Yes, but I'm back. That's the main thing. Plus, you shouldn't be worrying about whether you can have your hair cut or not. Push comes to shove, you're just gonna have to have it cut. No,
Or let it grow out.
this is not a time for style or like
I don't think it
really
ever was.
fashion statements. You just gotta get on, and whether that's just short back and side, you gotta just live with that. You know, these are difficult times. Difficult
Yes.
times.
Or you can cut. Or you can be like Kim Jong Un and cut your own hair.
Yes, you can be like that as well, but the majority of us aren't gonna do that. Let's just be honest.
No,
Be
just
honest
get the bowl out the cupboard and the scissors and start snipping.
here.
So
So it's been
so
hell.
what's happened? What's happened since we last did an episode of this? Well, everything's changed, hasn't it?
Yeah. Well, when we last did an episode, I think they were only advising us to stay at home. Now they've really enforced it. They've given the police power of arrest. So if you are outside and it's not deemed as essential, the police can fine you. And if you continue to have a go at them, they can arrest you.
Yeah.
Now, this is a big deal, especially if you live in a village. You really know how empty it is all of a sudden because you usually get a lot. Because I'm in a village, there's a lot of elderly residents, so you usually see a lot of them walking around, going to the shops and that. You're seeing none of that now. Everyone's inside, and I'm lucky in a sense because I'm able to still go to work. I work in retail, so I'm able to still go to work.
Yay.
However,
So am I.
that is a mixed bag because some could say I'm at greater risk of getting coronavirus because I'm working in a supermarket with the general public. And I can't say what company I work for, but we've had so many new measures put in place. We're
Yeah.
limiting. We got lines all over the floor. You're supposed to stand 2 meters apart from staff
They're
and customers.
capping numbers as well. So and they're not letting like big groups of shoppers in. So that's like you got to stick to one person per trolley. So you can't like go shopping with the family anymore. It's a case of you need to just go by yourself and get the items you need and get out of there.
Yeah, we've limited the amount of items people can buy. They're only allowed to buy three of each
It's
item,
2 or 3 now.
and that's not just saying you can buy free tonic waters and free soda waters and stuff like that. You can only buy free of certain products. So you could have one tonic water, one soda water, and one ginger ale in the bottles. You can't have 3 of each because there's just not enough to go around. And I work on a grocery department, so I'm on the shop floor. I fill soft drink, and stuff is literally. I had 7 cages of delivery on a Saturday, and this time of year, the majority of that wouldn't go out, but we only had probably about 1 cage left over of stuff out of 7 cages. Stuff is literally flying off the shelf.
Yeah.
We put toilet rolls out, and me and someone I was working with took them out on a pallet. and felt like a war zone. You were constantly looking over your shoulder, wondering when people were going to jump. And trust me, once I put one on the shelf, and like a middle-aged woman walked out and went, "Oh!" and ran up and took it and said,
It's
"Oh,
ridiculous.
I'm so glad you brought them out." It's like, and I really felt like saying to her, "For God's sake, calm down." And by an hour later, half of it was gone, and we
Mm.
filled two shelves. So we got probably about 75 to 80 toilet roll packs, and half of them were gone in an hour. So that's just how much people, and I know they're saying panic buying's calmed down.
Things are
I don't
coming
think it.
down compared to how it was.
Yeah, but even so, even with all these restrictions, people are still buying stuff which they
Yeah,
don't need. I see the same people coming in and picking up, and some couples are coming in with two separate trolleys
yeah.
and picking up different things and going to separate
And you
checkouts,
see
which
a
is
lot of
wrong.
people coming in again as well later on
Yeah,
during the day.
people are still trying to get into the store, and of course they're blaming retail staff for it because it's so easy to blame retail staff
Yeah,
for something. I mean, these measures are great, and they have helped. It's a lot better than what it was last week. However, people
yeah.
are still buying more than they need, and that's just causing a backlash which we're struggling to recover from at the moment.
Yes, I saw a thing about the whole situation is that we're battling two things at the moment: a pandemic and stupidity.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. That's very true.
Yeah, so you really it just goes to show like how people behave. It's just ridiculous. I to be honest.
Well, yeah, it is ridiculous. People aren't behaving rationally.
No.
Um, it's basically it's shown that we only really care about ourselves
Yeah.
and want to make sure that ourselves are all, you know, down to the middle-aged woman screaming at me because we finally put toilet roll out for, down to the floods of customers keep coming in and asking, when is your toilet roll coming in? When is this coming in? When are you going to do this? Why haven't you done this? This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And you feel like saying to them, well, actually, you should be lucky that I'm in because I have mild asthma.
Yeah.
So some could say I'm not even supposed to be in work because obviously asthma is one of the things they're saying you should be staying at home. So they
Mm.
should be like grateful that I'm actually going to work and providing them a service,
Yeah.
especially a decent service, considering what I'd like to say to some of the customers I've seen in work.
It's very easy
I mean,
to want to.
obviously you're not back at work
I
yet,
will
and you
be next
work on
week though.
checkout. Yeah, and you work on checkout, so that's a
Yeah.
completely different environment. I think checkout staff actually have more. It's they have more measures in place to protect them.
Yeah.
On the shop floor, even though we've enforced this two meter rule, people still come up to you, and it's just a lot. There seems to be a lot less protection in place on the shop floor at this stage than there is on checkouts at the moment. I mean, they've even got everyone queuing up at one
Yeah.
end of the store and sending them to checkouts. It kind of feels like how Argos works and things like that. You kind of live and then go
Yeah.
go to specific sections. I mean, I read somewhere today that this could last till June, and
Yeah.
the social distancing could last even longer than
Till
that.
October.
So yeah, that is gonna be just the entire year, the majority of the year of this. Um, it's a scary thought considering we're only in March.
Hmm.
It is scary. Um, especially when you might have had plans to do stuff this year. I mean, a lot of weddings have been cancelled, which
A
is
lot of
very sad
a lot
for
of
all those.
weddings, concerts, festivals, just everything, everything's been cancelled.
Yeah, yeah. So it's one of those things. Once we've gotten through it, we'll then talk about how everyone got through it. But until that time, we're living in it, and we just got to cope with it. I mean, deaths have gone up to
Yeah.
over 1,000 now. They're saying the worst case scenario will be 22,000 people
Hmm.
dying. That's a significant number. Hopefully, with these, but there is some good news. They've said because we put these measures in, the peak of the coronavirus has moved. I think it was in May. It's now moved to April. So there is some good news. This is
Yeah.
working in the forecasting. We haven't seen it working in the results yet, because obviously it takes a couple of weeks before you can see it start slowing down.
Yeah. It's also like it's scary. Like you see on the news and it sinks in. Like when you see like these big like convention centers and stadium and music like arenas and venues being converted into hospitals now. You saw the XL in London, the NEC in Birmingham, and another one in Manchester's all being converted into big temporary hospitals.
Oh yeah, it definitely feels surreal. That's what I keep
Yeah.
thinking. It doesn't feel like reality, because we've never seen anything like this before. I don't even think my parents have seen anything like
Like
this before.
even feels strange back where we are, even though we're meant to be a quiet Norfolk village with an aging population. Like even for what our villages would be deemed to be quiet anyway, in comparison to city life anyway, and just going outside. Like I go out for like walks or a cycle pretty much every day, and just seeing just how empty, even for a quiet village, how empty and quiet things are, just feels
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've started the tradition of going out for a walk every day now, just to get outside.
Yeah,
Um, Luckily, I'm still able to go to work, but I can only go to work and come home from work. I can't really go anywhere else
yeah,
unless it's deemed as essential. And me and you were having this problem because we were wondering whether we could actually meet, because
yeah,
obviously the rules are you can have a social gathering of two. However, I think we come to the conclusion in the end it would have just proven there's so many things we'd have to comply with.
yeah,
Basically, have to we'd both have to meet in an open area and find
mm,
our own way there. I wouldn't be allowed to pick you up or vice
yeah.
versa, because that could lead to infection.
It'd
So
be deemed as
all
an
very
unsafe to travel. And
yeah.
the police are already enforcing this, even around here. I've heard
Oh yeah.
stories of police stopping people, asking where they're travelling, and having the power to turn people around.
Oh, they arrested one guy.
Hmm.
I drove past and there was his car. He looked middle aged. Um, and he was in the back of a police car. And
Yeah,
from what I could make out, because I've seen him local, and I know he wouldn't be a criminal or anything. It's obviously he's tried to go out,
yeah,
and they've classed it as non-essential, and because he won't listen, they've arrested him. So very, very just confusing times at the moment. I mean, it's weird, isn't it? I think after this is over, I think people will just be going out all the time.
yeah.
They'll be going out to clubs,
make up
going out to
make up for lost
restaurants.
time.
Yeah, because this is you can cope in this, like, stay at
Yeah.
home. However, it's a bit annoying.
Mm.
Just being, I'm lucky. I can still go to work, so I can get in my car and drive to work and drive. I still have that freedom. It's limited to my place of
I
work and
suppose
home.
people of
That's it.
our age are okay. I've seen a lot of people, uni students, moaning about I'm like moaning about all their student loans and all that stuff, and I'm like really, you're not really losing any money, are you? Really, let's be honest.
Well,
Like with your student
I
loan, it's not like you're paying all any much of that back anyway. So it's like there's bigger
well,
problems to worry about. There's people who need to worry about whether they're going to have jobs to go back to, whether they're going to have jobs to enable to feed themselves, pay for the rent or whatever. And then there's like uni
well,
students just complaining about, I've had my lessons cut and all that. But at the moment there are more pressing issues than a bit of student debt, which people are complaining about. Which
yeah. I think, and we've talked about this, which we talked about this a few times
yeah,
on TPN, so I won't go over it right now. But this is one of the problems with uni students. They don't seem to live in reality half the time. And it's like, get your priorities straight. If you're concerned about your student loan, or you're saying, oh, I haven't been able to go on the last field trip of the term or something, or, I mean, I've seen some people complain, oh, we've just had a really difficult year of uni and now we can't even go. get your priorities straight. You know, you
Yeah.
should be lucky that
There are people who've got it worse.
yeah, they should be lucky that this. They should be lucky that they're probably in one of the safest environments, you know, out of the majority of people
What
in
of
the.
being able to go home and have parents look after them? Yeah, it's really hard
Well,
time for
yeah,
them.
exactly. I mean, a lot of the ones I feel sorry for was the GCSE and A level students, because especially GCSE students, because that's what you work your entire school career up until that point to do your GCSE. And to find out they're going to go on predicted grades or mocks or whatever. I was speaking to someone who works in the place I work, and they're doing A levels,
Yeah.
and they've said they actually want to get into Cambridge University, not proper Cambridge University, like the one
Oh,
me and you
oh,
could
the
never get.
BTEC one. Oh no. Oh, you mean proper one? So King's College.
Yeah, proper.
Not
Yeah,
not not not
proper Cambridge.
not BTEC Anglia Ruskin.
No, proper Cambridge. And he was saying that they're gonna go off predicted grades, but
Yeah.
he needs like
Oh, it's A's and A
A's.
stars.
Yeah, he needs like 2 A stars and an A. And the problem is one of his predicted grades is a B, because his teachers said, "Oh yeah, I'm putting you as a B. I think you will get an A, but I've just put you as a B for now, just so you can try harder."
See,
So if
that's
they
the
go by
problem.
those
Yeah.
grades, yeah, it's because I got above some of my predicted
We
grades,
all did.
especially
We
my
all did.
GCSE.
Especially with
Yeah,
GCSEs. Yeah.
so I mean, my science predicted grade for additional science, I think, was a D, and I got a B in that. So
Can you remember?
would I be angry?
Can you remember? Like it's
Yeah,
like how I was for like ICT. You remember at the start of year 10, I predicted like a D.
yeah, and you got the highest grade. So I think me and you, if this was us in that situation, would be annoyed because we knew that we could do better than
Yeah.
that. And obviously, some of the grades you could say they would over predict what we did. That's happened to me in the past. You know, some predicted grades are over what I got, not by a lot, but by a
Hmm.
bit. So they are given the option later in the year they can all do their exams, but that just pushes everything back.
Yeah.
You might as well. Some people are saying they should just write off this education year and just start a fresh.
Hmm.
That causes problems as well, because then you're putting everyone back. You know, I don't. I honestly don't know. I feel sorry for them. I really do.
That's all right.
I mean,
We
university students could do the majority of their stuff independently anyway, so I don't feel as sorry for them, because you know they can, if you know if they need to have some of their precious holiday from April to September taken up catching up on schoolwork, then I know that's so sad, but so be it.
I
You
mean,
know, if you've got to deal with it, then just deal with
like for my type of course, it's all right because we've just got digital submissions remaining. Because of how my uni does it with SEM-based subjects, they do continuous assessments, not just exams at the end. So they're called face tests. So it's basically examination throughout the year per module. Like so, like you go through a module, then you get examined on it, then you get an exam on it, and except such on. So we don't have much work to actually need hand in post April. It's just all digital submission, which has worked out fine for me. So I'm not complaining too much.
Oh, I can safely say, the history course I was on, before I dropped out, they did all their exams in the first year at the end of
Yeah,
the academic year. They did theirs in about April or May.
I know.
So for all of them,
Even at my uni, the a lot of the other subjects they do it that way as well. It's just the STEM subjects they do continuous assessments.
yeah. So yeah, I can see why they'd be annoyed, but with everything that's going on, they should be glad they're safe. Really, I think uni students should be mature to understand that. Yeah, GCSE students, you could say, you know, some of the majority, quite a few of them are under the age of 16, so that's all they care about, their GCSE. But uni students, they should really get their priorities straight. If they're safe, then that should be the main thing.
Yeah,
And not everyone can self isolate. You know, NHS staff, retail workers, you can say what you want, but them people are are doing their bit. They're
Yeah,
definitely doing
they're
their
doing their bit and risk and possibly go just by going to work and going to an environment with lots of people that they put themselves more at risk than anyone else would.
yes.
So all these irate customers and people being angry for the sake of being angry, like, towards members of staff in shops, towards healthcare workers, like, you're not helping the situation. If anything, you're just making matters worse for yourself.
Yeah, but they'll never see that. And of
Because they're
course,
going
you
out
get
of
the
they're
you.
going out of their way to do something for you that, well, you just take for granted, but now you actually see just how important it actually is.
Yeah. And also, of course, at this time, in times of crisis, you get the usual left wingers blaming the government
Oh, I
for
saw that.
everything
I thought that was
done.
ridiculous. I saw like the likes of Owen Jones. You know, all these left wing people calling, "Oh yeah, the UK government's not doing enough. Ah, the UK government's just doesn't care." But now I've seen all the left wing commentators when when Boris Johnson came out and said we're going into lockdown. They said, "Oh, imagine, oh, brilliant! Now we're living under a Tory police state." And
Yeah,
because hang on a minute, you were saying the government was doing enough. Now you're saying the government's doing too much. Like,
yeah. Some
you
people
can't
have
please some
said,
people.
"Oh, this is what he's always wanted. He wants us to become a dictatorship." First, you can't become a dictatorship in this country. That would not be allowed by anyone. I don't think this isn't the 1930s. We wouldn't enter a dictatorship. And plus, you can say what Boris has done. He's actually caught coronavirus himself, as
Yeah,
well as the health
Matt
secretary,
Hancock.
Matt Hancock. So you cannot say that these guys are not doing their damn hardest. I mean, he's got coronavirus. So technically, Boris could say, right, I'm going to sit back and relax
And
and let someone else
it's
deal
even
with the problem.
worse. Boris is still going for it, and it's even worse for Boris because his partner's pregnant at the moment, which makes her very at risk of if she catches it.
Yes, they're not actually with each other at the moment. I think she's self isolating
Yeah,
somewhere else
yeah,
at the
because
moment because
if she
he's
catches it, it could be
or
deadly towards her and the baby.
yeah. So you've got to feel, and Boris Johnson does look tired because he's exhausted. He's up, late into the night trying to deal with this crisis. And the
Mm.
man hasn't had it easy since becoming prime
No,
minister.
he's had to sort out
He's had
Brexit.
his
He was
fair
prepared
share.
to make major changes to how government's structured, to the civil service. He was working all around the clock to well do big changes. Brexit being one of them, and now this on his plate. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's got people.
and
People complain
and
about
while
Boris all
all
you
this,
like, but he's out there actually
yeah,
trying to keep the nation positive, but also, yeah,
and while all this has been happening, of course, it was Jeremy Corbyn's last prime minister's questions as
yes,
leader of the opposition,
as they
and everyone
brought
was
the Easter recess early, so yes, it was his.
and everyone was saying bye to him and like saying where's he gonna go, and I don't think Corbyn knows. I think Corbyn would be returning to the back benches where he belongs, but some people are saying Corbyn could be in the shadow cabinet somehow. So really, I mean, this guy's been dead weight for how many years, and how they want to have him, they want to still keep him in the shadow cabinet. That's ridiculous. But of course, some people on Facebook are really happy about this. I think it was the Guardian brought out "Thank you, Jeremy Corbyn."
Oh God,
For what?
what did
What,
he do?
leading Labour to its worst election defeat since 1935? What? Thank you, Jeremy Corbyn, for doing that. I get Conservatives saying thank you, Jeremy Corbyn, for all you've done, but Labour saying thank you, Mr.
I
Corbyn.
know,
That's
and you
absolutely
can see how
ridiculous.
delusional and he is in his old senile age because in his interview with the BBC he said that he won.
Yeah.
What do you mean? What did you win? You won nothing. You won the biggest defeat of your party since the 1930s.
Yeah, but you can't even say he won in any part of the United Kingdom. He
No.
lost tons of seats in England. He was reduced to one seat in Scotland. In Wales, Labour, while they maintained as the largest party in Wales, they lost seats to the Conservatives. The man is dead weight. Everyone knows he's dead weight. I think even his supporters know he's dead weight, really. But of course, maybe we'll get a new
He's
chapter for
trying.
Labour,
He's
because on the
trying.
2nd of April we're going to be seeing a new Labour leader, and let's just say now it's going to be Keir Starmer. I don't see Bailey doing it,
Yeah, but
so
even
I think it's
Starmer's
going to be
still gone
Starmer.
left to try and please people.
Oh, Starmer's doing what he can to win.
They're
He's
all
like,
dead weights. They're
at
all
start
just
he was like, I'm a modernizer, I'm a centrist, and then all of a sudden he was like,
nope.
but Jeremy Corbyn
But the
was great.
socialist platform we stood on, I want to still remain, and it was brilliant, even though it cost you everything.
Yeah, but actually, while a lot of people are saying, I know a lot of people are blaming but in a recent poll conducted last week, Conservatives now have 54%
Oh, I
in
saw that.
opinion poll.
Like
Yeah, so that is no party, let alone a governing
the
party,
polls are
gets
really
above
strong.
50.
So like it was like over, like in a poll, it was like over like almost 80% are happy with Boris, like 74%, 75% are happy with the government, and I saw like 74% were like impressed and really happy with Rishi Sunak's performance as Chancellor, which I have to say I think
Yeah.
has been actually quite good.
Oh yeah, I was wrong about Rishi Sunak. I think I said that I don't think he'd be his own chancellor. He's just kind
Oh,
of
my camera's
naive
gone down.
puppet.
It's alright.
But
Keep going. Yeah, my
he
camera's
hasn't
dead.
been, I have to say. Hang on. I
No,
think
no.
I have a problem because the camera's
Yeah,
disappeared.
it's died. So keep going.
So
Keep going. We've got audio still.
we're gonna we're gonna see what that's all about. I don't even think I'm on at the moment, but
You are on at the moment. It's just my
I will
camera's.
find
It's just.
out
Can you
what's
not hear
going
me?
on.
Can you not hear me? Oh crap! Hang on. Hello.
Oh
Hello.
no, I
Hello.
am on.
You are on. You are
I
on. It's
am
just
on.
my camera died.
Oh, I thought that was the case. I was
So
on here and I was
yeah.
on here talking and I thought I don't even know if I think I am. I don't know.
Yeah,
And
you
oh
are on.
right,
It's
okay,
just. It's
yeah,
just.
that's
We're just going without my audio feed, but we're still on audio. As you were saying about Rishi.
well, yes. I was a little. I thought he'd just be a naive puppet because he was. I thought he was too young to be chancellor. Through this crisis, he's really proven that he can step up to the job.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm impressed with the government right now, and it looks like the country are impressed with them as well. Labour have lost points in opinion polls recently. So have the Liberal Democrats. So no, nothing seems to beat the Conservatives at the moment. They're high, a high they've never experienced for years. So
I know,
what can I
and
say?
I
Looks
saw
good.
people saying that this crisis. Well, they said it with Brexit as well. That's still going to be a big thing. But he said how the government responds or handles this crisis is either going to be like the making or breaking of Boris Johnson.
Oh yeah.
And so far,
Um,
I think it's going in its favour.
Yeah, I think because people are already talking it. It's
Yeah.
amazing, isn't it? We're not even half a year away from the general election. People are already talking about the next general election, and people are saying if they carry on like this, they're gonna have no problem being
No.
re-elected in
The
2024 or
problem
when.
is with this whole crisis is the recovery stage. It's just how we're
Yeah,
going to see, because it's possible this crisis will do long term damage to the economy. Like people are worried
yeah,
about will businesses have a market to go back to? Will people have jobs to go back to after this?
it's gonna be a difficult. It's gonna be a difficult
Is the
year.
economy
I
going to go
mean,
into a recession? It's possible with the whole entire global economy slowing down.
yeah, but the difference
Is the management
between the Gordon Brown's management of the financial crisis
was
in
just
2000 absolutely
yeah
atrocious. He just spent money that we didn't have. Boris Johnson hasn't spent money that he doesn't have yet. He's dealing with it more fiscally than Gordon Brown did because of course he's a conservative. So conservatives generally do fiscal policies when it comes to economic. I think we've just got a better leader than Gordon Brown was. And what
well,
makes
that's
me
not
laugh is
hard.
Gordon Brown's all of a sudden back in the news again, kind of saying we should have a world government. It's like, why the hell would anyone
It's
listen to anything
or
you
have
have
you
to say?
seen the government seems to have taken a good approach? They're bringing legislation to stop price gouging from shops, so they can't overcharge people and take advantage of pricings. So I think that's quite a good approach. You've also seen warning from the government of businesses and banks as well, warning them to behave. They
Well, I think people would be better. I know it sounds weird. People would be prepared for a recession after something like this. In 2008, it seemed like everything was going well, and then all of a sudden, crap.
yeah.
You know, there was people unemployed in like with this. There's been all this crisis, so you could say people would be more prepared for a recession. You could say the government is more prepared for difficult financial times
So
coming in the future.
would we though? I know Boris and his old government's talking about of reducing taxes sometime this year, especially by October. They wanted to reduce tax rates on people's income. It's possible that's not going to go ahead anymore. Would it be even possible that taxes will have to go up slightly?
I think it could be possible that taxes would have to go up. I think it's one of those things you're going to have to just wait until
Yeah,
we see what the
I know
government
it's hard.
intend
It's
to
hard to
do.
predict just what's going to happen.
Yeah. Of course, we don't know how long this crisis is going to go on for.
Yeah,
Who knows? Someone could discover a vaccine for it tomorrow,
if
and
it goes,
before you know
it's
it, it's
possible if it
over
goes
by.
on for any more than 3 months, it could have some serious consequences.
Yeah. So I think it's just one of those things. We're gonna. No one knows.
No.
No one knows what's going to happen. They're very uncertain times, but I don't want to sound really patriotic, but we're British. We've gotten through worse, and we'll get through this crisis.
Yes.
That's a fact.
As we said yesterday, do you think the government though would rather impose slightly higher taxes or have to make cuts again?
I think they'd be very wary about enforcing cuts again
Yeah.
because obviously the austerity program, they don't want to become as just a party of cuts and
Hmm.
austerity, especially as Boris Johnson made campaign commitments stating that unless there was like extreme
Well,
circumstances,
Boris's whole thing was about cutting taxes.
yeah. So who knows?
No, it's hard to predict
They'll
just
just
what's
have
going to
to
happen.
they will have to review the situation and
It
what what they think
the
is the
measures
best
that
decision.
they're going to have to implement all depends on how long this is going to last for.
Yeah,
Because at the
yeah, it is.
moment, the government's trying their best to basically put the economy on hibernation, pretty much, and try and preserve
Yeah,
as much as
which
they can.
yeah, we're trying to kind of calm down and we're
Well,
trying
preserve.
desperately not to cause a recession.
Yeah.
The problem is you have other countries which are not. I'm not saying
No,
not taking the country
I
seriously. They're not
yeah,
taking the disease
I
seriously, but they're
think
not.
like our like countries like in terms of financials and economics have taken probably a really good approach on how to do things. You've seen the EU's in massive trouble. Have you seen?
Yeah, they're struggling at the
The
moment.
EU's really struggling, and there's going to be a massive shortfall. Even from from simple things, from us leaving, that was going to make a shortfall in their spending anyway. And now this,
Yeah,
the euros are, I've seen is like on the verge of collapse. Have you seen?
yeah, they're not coping. And also, I'd like to bring up that out of a lot of the world leaders, and I have respect for this man. Donald Trump is is seems to be handling this crisis not well
No.
compared to other leaders because he seems to be in denial about the seriousness of the disease.
Hmm.
And you never know if this lasts longer. Just think in November there is elections, so and
Yeah.
people go into the election with clothes. They
Trump
don't think about the future in elections. They think about what's happening now.
and
So
Trump's big playing card was the strong economy. So
yeah,
he needs to get good
so
management, even though he's up against a candidate who's dead weight anyway and doesn't bring anything to the table. That being Joe Biden, but he's
yeah.
still people. If he doesn't, still people still vote and don't forget or forgive if their wallets are damaged because of
Governments which are dealing with governments which are in recession 9 times out of 10 don't get re-elected.
yeah,
It just doesn't happen because people don't think about the future, they think about what's happening now.
yeah,
And
and what's
that's
in their
why
wallets at the moment.
Yeah, so that's why so many governments have gone down, both in this country and in America, because people vote on the economy. You know, you can say what you want about domestic issues or foreign
Yeah,
issues.
people are
Nine
saying,
times out of 10, most elections are
yeah,
about the economy, except the 2019 UK election. That was primarily about Brexit.
yeah.
That was
Well,
different
it's hard.
altogether.
Well, I don't know. All these idealists saying, "Oh, we should vote with our hearts and compassion and yeah, and all that stuff." But really, the majority of the people will vote with their wallets. How if they're going to be financially better off themselves, if they're going to have more job opportunities, more like lower taxes, just more money in general in their pockets. That's what the majority of people will
Yeah.
vote for, and that's how you win an election.
Yeah, and you could say that's why in 2017 Theresa May wanted the election to be about Brexit, but then Labour announced all of the massive spending commitments and all of that, and Theresa May really did struggle
Yeah.
because people vote with their wallets. If they think they're going to get a party than another, then they're going to with their
Oh
wallets.
yeah,
So
definitely.
yeah, the economy's a big, the economy's a massive
And
when
there's
it
no
comes to
denying what Trump's done for his economy so far. Like there's no denying that. Whether you like the man, dislike the man, agree with his social policies, you can't disagree with what he's
no.
done to the economy.
He's done well with the economy. You just don't want coronavirus to ruin
Yeah.
that. You know, I mean, who knows? That's in November. I'm sure close to talk about that more about what's going
Hopefully
to
we're not
happen there.
still in lockdown mode by November. That would be.
No, that would
Hopefully
be
it is till June.
that would be concerning. Yeah,
Ideally
let's
it's
hope it's
sooner,
till
but
June.
June's the maximum you really want this to go on for. And you see,
Let's
like
be
in China, which China's big population dense, very dense population. It's taken them about 3 months to finally ease off
yeah.
lockdown measures.
So let's hope it is until June.
Yeah,
Let's be optimistic. If it's not, we'll cope. And if it is until June, then you know what then we can get on with stuff we'd planned to do.
yeah.
So yeah, let's just hope. There's no point worrying
It's gonna
because you can't
even when
worry.
lockdown measures ease off. I think it's going to take a while for everything to get back to normal. Or I don't know. Is it being cynical to say will things ever go back to normal? Will things change for worse or better? I don't know.
Things will go back to normal. That
But
they
will there be
always
long
do.
lasting changes that
Economically, maybe.
hmm,
Uh, socially, you could say maybe people will appreciate the outdoors a lot more.
people
And
appreciate things a lot more, possibly that they've taken for granted?
I think they could appreciate going outside a lot more, meeting up with friends
Yeah.
more regularly. I mean, one of my friends, Ryan Flack, Matthew knows him.
Yep. Of course.
I we've met up once this year so far, and I was going to meet in February, and then I thought I was going to meet up with him before I went on
Yeah.
holiday, but decided, oh well, I'll be able to meet up back. So I think stuff like that will make you think, well, I think we should make the effort to meet up more
Yeah.
because at times like this, you really do notice
And
how
hopefully it does change
important.
people's attitude on life, on many aspects of being more appreciative of things.
Yeah, hopefully the people who are panic buying after this the realization will hit them about what they've
Yeah.
done and just how selfish they
how
have
much of an
been.
idiot they've made themselves to be.
Yeah, so let's just let's just hope there are. It's not all negatives. There could be some positives in the aftermath of this.
Yeah, well, we should always look on the positives. There's not really too much positive news at the moment, to be honest. In terms of things that we can say
No,
that's
not at the moment. Well, the Labour leadership is funny news,
well,
but
yeah,
apart from
that's just a joke.
no one's talking about that. No one has like
actually,
mentioned that or did
actually,
that.
actually, I got a response. People say it's a joke. Actually, no, it's not a joke because a joke has to have a meaning.
Yeah, yeah.
There's no meaning to that leadership race.
Well, yeah. No, I mean, of course, I'm sure me and Matthew will evaluate Keir Starmer's performance when
Yeah,
eventually does
no,
perform
not
and see if
strong,
he's actually challenged. But
especially if he goes up
honestly,
against
I
Boris
don't.
Johnson.
I mean, if it turns out we're all wrong and it's Rebecca Long Bailey, then oh my god, that will be
What
5
Jeremy
years.
Corbyn Jr.
It'll basically be like David Cameron versus Ed Miliband. There'll be that many confirmation videos on YouTube of
Yeah.
just like debates between them.
Hmm.
Oh, this is just so funny.
I know they're not a good way.
No, it's quite serious that you could say these people could technically become the next prime minister. So
Yeah.
it is scary in that regard. Oh,
Yeah. It's gonna be
it's gonna be fun.
interesting.
Yes, it's gonna be interesting. He's gonna be really interesting. Sir Keir Starmer has that working class feel to it. That name, doesn't it, Sir Keir Starmer?
So yeah. So a privileged white rich man from London, much one of the people.
Well, I'm sure he'll be able to win over those northern working
Yes,
class.
I'm a rich millionaire barrister from London. I'm one of
And
you.
I've only been in Parliament since 2015.
I've got millions in the bank. I know you haven't, but I'm one of you.
Remember me? I was the shadow Brexit secretary who told Corbyn to go for Remain.
I partially cost Labour the election last time around, but hey, we could sweep that under the rug. Now you've all got
Yeah,
Brexit.
the next election won't be about Brexit. Let's just ignore that.
Yeah,
Oh.
they're going to try and sweep that under the rug. I can guarantee that.
Oh yeah, they won't be talking about it. They'll be like, "What do you mean we said we'd go for a referendum? We didn't do that. What are you
Nah,
talking about?"
of course not.
Although some people have said now they haven't got those northern seats, they don't have to try and appeal to them anymore. It's, what the hell? You haven't learned anything.
They've not learned a single thing.
They're saying, well, let's not worry about Scotland because you know what, the SNP can have them. Let's not worry about.
We haven't won in
How
Scotland for years.
How are you going to get a majority then? Well, Wales and London. Yeah, that's it.
London, because just look at what happened last time when you targeted the London elite and on their socialist champagne policies. Look how that worked out for you.
How could Labour physically form a majority? Because when Blair formed majorities and Labour in the past, they were carrying Scotland, Wales, the north of England, London, and then several southern constituencies.
Yeah.
How could they form a majority
They're
now?
not.
They don't have the numbers to form a majority government. Oh my god.
No, they're at the moment they're dead. Party done.
They're dead.
They're dead.
They're dead. And there's no other. There's no. I mean, if they're dead, I mean, no one's even mentioned Liberal Democrats since the election because they're nothing. They're 11 seats. It's just like there.
Yeah, they can only hope. One can only have admiration.
Well, yeah, I suppose
you gotta hope, but sometimes you just gotta realise when you're screwed, and you should probably go to bed.
Well, yeah, that's why I'm so shocked. Corbyn might be back in the shadow cabinet. It's like, why, man? Come on.
I know, like Rebecca Long Bailey's hinted. Yeah, we would have Jeremy Corbyn back in the shadow cabinet. Yeah.
In what role? What, Chancellor?
No, Deputy Prime Minister.
Oh, come on, what? And then when they're elected, he steps down and he jumps in. Okay.
Yeah.
Shadow Deputy Prime Minister. Why?
It wouldn't surprise me.
What the hell is the point? People didn't want him as Prime Minister.
I mean, Rebecca Long Bailey's pretty much Jeremy Corbyn version 2.
I know, but probably that's the problem. Starmer would probably put Corbyn in the shadow cabinet as well.
They all would.
But he's at least other leaders of the opposition went back to the back benches. You know, Ed Miliband, he'd go back to the back benches. William Hague, when he was leader of the opposition, went back to the back benches for a couple of years before coming back. Corbyn's just said, yeah, I lost, bye. Oh, I'm back.
Joe Swinson went back home.
Yeah, Joe Swinson had to get another job because she couldn't be an MP anymore.
Yeah.
And the Lib Dems could have formed a majority government. That's what they said.
Oh yeah.
That's what they said.
Yeah. I can't
And
believe
they
that.
lost the.
I'm
And they
campaigning to be
lost.
your prime minister.
They had a net loss of one seat, which was her seat. Oh my god. Oh dear. Lib Dems haven't even got a leader, I don't think.
No.
Just like, what's the
It's
point?
not important.
We don't care. It's
Okay.
no point. Oh, it's always funny to talk about Labour.
Yeah.
They're just they've had 4 consecutive defeats. You got to love that.
Yeah.
Poor Labour. Poor
Yeah.
Labour.
I don't feel sorry for them though.
They should have just put David Lammy in charge with Diane Abbott as the deputy and just kind of said, we don't care.
Just admit you don't give a shit.
Yeah, just have a laugh. Just kind of, let's see how low we can get this seat tally. Under 100, that sounds good.
Last time I looked at the figures, it
Well,
cost.
is Diane Abbott returning to the backbenches with John McDonnell? Are they going to stay as well?
No idea.
Oh my god, what if it is the same shadow cabinet, but
That'd be
just
funny.
with like Rebecca
That'd be
Long Bailey or Keir Starmer there?
That would be funny.
Like John McDonnell's Chancellor, Corbyn's Deputy Prime Minister, and then there's like Bailey as Prime Minister.
No, they'll make Diane Abbott Deputy Shadow Chancellor because
Oh my god, that would scare me.
I know.
The idea that she's shadowing the Chancellor, like in charge of the money, just that is scary. That should never be happening.
Yeah, it's a scary thought.
Oh,
but
right.
hey, if they want to be a bunch of clowns, it's not going to affect us because we get the party that we want.
Well, we're safe. We're safe until 2024. We're safe until then.
I think we're safe until 2029. If I'm honest with you.
Oh yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. Who knows? I mean,
nah. Unless
Labour will get back into power one day.
Yeah,
maybe when they finally decided that
probably in like
radical
15 years.
socialism doesn't.
Yeah, when they find out no one wants socialist ideas in the country, but they might.
I mean,
it might take 10 years.
I think people decided they didn't want that in the 80s, but they've decided to try and see if they want it again, which obviously they don't.
Nope.
They never did.
They're just going to hope they can appeal to young people with idealistic views and the world's. I don't know the world's.
Well, someone said because someone when they were saying about thank you Jeremy Corbyn, he never lost the election. And someone said, "What are you on about?" Well, I know he lost a lot of seats in 2019, but he made gains in 2017, so it's not all bad. Yeah, but let's think about this chronologically. The 2017 seats which he won, he lost 2.5 years later. So there's no way of saying he was a success if he lost seats he gained. That doesn't count for anything. Anyway, I think
we've been going 50 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we should end it there for the day.
Yes, I think we should. Thank you guys for watching. I've had to resume the visuals in due.
Yep.
There's no camera from Matthew.
We're also going to have to think about should we make Sunday the TPN day from Wednesday? Because it's a day we both have off now.
Yes, I think we might have to suggest. I mean, obviously, if you guys that, then
because
we'll take it into account.
Well, I don't do Sundays anymore. So I'm free every Sunday now. Then work
Sunday fun day.
Then you work during the day.
Yeah, well, Sunday fun day. It'll be a good day.
Yeah.
I think Sundays work better anyway than Sunday afternoons instead of Wednesday evenings. I think they work better because we're both a bit more awake and aware of what's going on. So we're moving it. We've got Sunday fun days instead. of Wednesdays.
Sunday fun days.
Sunday fun days indeed. Yeah.
Anyway, guys, I think
I'll have
that's
to
where we're going to
convince
end it for the
Matthew,
day.
Yeah.
So thank you everyone for watching. We will catch you hopefully next week. Go check.
And make sure to subscribe to Movie Rewind.
Oh
We
yeah,
get a lot of
shameless plug.
Yeah, just very discreetly
Shameless,
say
shameless,
subscribe to Movie Rewind.
shameless.
Might be seeing some Movie Rewind discussions. So if you like this format, then go and check that out. You don't have to, but no, seriously, go and check it out. Because we need the views.
Yes, give us ad revenue. Otherwise, we're gonna have to open an OnlyFans account for the.
Oh no, not Patreon.
No, not Patreon. It was OnlyFans. That's worse.
Oh, what is that? When only like people who pay
No,
can...
no. That's the adult site that people pay people on.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't feel comfortable doing content there.
I know, but desperate times calls for desperate measures.
No, because I think people who go on those sites won't really want
they know,
a half-hour
you know what they're
discussion
looking for.
about film.
Yeah, let's have a discussion about films or Brexit.
Yeah, that's what they're looking.
Pay me £10 a month for Brexit photos.
Oh god, I wish that did exist because we'd get loads of money.
Oh, I know, I'd be rich.
Yeah, we wouldn't. Well, just drop out of uni, we'd be sorted.
Yeah.
We'd have money. We'd survive.
Anyway, guys, I think we should really end it there now.
Yes, this is kind of descended from a political podcast into.
Everyone, thank you for watching. We'll catch you again next week, and that's where we're going to do it. Right, goodbye.
Bye.
Fucking hell.